Is the sacred timeline also called Reality 616, or is that designation off the table because that's what Mysterio said, and Mysterio's a phony? Before you came onto this project, did Marvel Studios already have a bunch of set rules for time travel or alternate realities, or were you guys developing some of those rules for this show?
Maybe yes and yes is the answer. Sir, we had the foundation laid in Endgame.
Yeah.
Our second week of the writers' room, we got to watch an early cut of Endgame, and we were all losing our minds watching a previs Thanos get snapped away, and so we had that foundation.
Yeah.
Of okay, this is going to be canon of how time travel, of how the Avengers understand time travel.
Right.
And then it was our job to define, okay, how does the Time Variance Authority understand time travel? And that was our job in the show.
Going off of Endgame, this is just a real nerdy question that I love getting into this debate. It's one of my favorites. Michael, do you think that Steve Rogers went back in time into the sacred timeline and sort of stayed with his wife, Peggy Carter, and stayed hidden? Or did he retire in an alternate reality in the multiverse where he was able to make changes and have effects in that reality? Or can you not say?
That's such a good question. It's really interesting. I would love to see the answer.
Okay, that is a wonderful diplomatic answer. I'll take it. Let's leave it up to the fans to continue to debate. Next question. What was the key for unlocking the emotional story for this version of Loki for this series?
That was the first thing we had to do. And the key was understand that this character had 10 years of movies before this. Understand that there was perhaps a redemptive arc that he went through, but this is a different guy. And we have to tell a totally new story here.
Yeah.
And so that was, to me, the most important thing, was doing something new, not just telling the same old story with Loki that we'd seen before. And so that was the key. Once we had something that felt fresh, that felt like we were exploring new ground with this character, things fell into place.
Michael, you went from this project, you went from Loki to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I have to ask, in terms of like time travel, alternate reality, all that deep MCU lore stuff, is there connections between Loki and Doctor Strange, or is it sort of Loki is its own conceptual thing?
I think everything in the MCU is its own conceptual thing. Truly. That's not even a diplomatic answer. I think the charge with every project is make it great. Make it the best thing in the world. Make Loki the best TV show ever. Make Doctor Strange the best movie ever. If there's an organic way for those things to feed into one another, it'll happen and it'll be thrilling. Yeah. But the charge is always focus on the thing you're doing and make it great.
Is the sacred timeline also called Reality 616, or is that designation off the table because that's what Mysterio said, and Mysterio's a phony?
Right. Yeah. What is that? What does that guy know? Look, you're just gonna have to keep on listening for answers to that.
Okay. I got another one for you here. Fellow Rick and Morty writer and a pal of mine, Mr. Jeff Loveness, is writing Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I'm so excited. That movie's going to introduce us to Nathaniel Richards. In the comics, he goes on to become Kang the Conqueror, who has had, in the comics, interactions with the TVA. Is there any possibility that you guys were sharing any kind of notes? What's going on here? Is there any Nathaniel Richards, Kang shenanigans, references, Easter eggs, anything in Loki?
Well, Jeff is one of my dearest friends. He came on to Ant-Man a ways after I think we'd done this. So look, everybody's always swapping notes about different things.
Yes.
So all of the writers, when the MCU is really firing on all cylinders, it's when everybody's communicating.
Are we going to see in the Loki series, again, hearkening back to that amazing source material, the comics, different versions of Loki if we're opening it up? I mean, we've seen Chris Evans play as Loki. We've seen the great Sir Anthony Hopkins be Loki. Are we going to get to see Tom Hiddleston take on some different identities or personas or disguises.
I would love to see that. That would be great. You'd be remiss if you made a multiverse show and didn't see some different versions of this character. You know, I think that's when you're doing a show about the multiverse, just about time travel in general and that sort of thing, there's obviously an opportunity to potentially encounter alternate versions of yourself.
Yeah.
That's always exciting, especially when you're a being as chaotic as Loki. So I hope that happens. Fans have such love for this character. It's a real responsibility to do a show about Loki, you know, and there's fans empathize with this character for a multitude of different ways.
Yeah.
And so it's like, how do you distill what it is that everybody loves about Loki into this show and reward them for that affection and everything, but at the same time challenge them and give them something that's going to really be compelling. That I think I did feel a great sense of responsibility because of how beloved he is.
As you were just describing everything there, I was thinking back on the first 2 episodes that I've seen, and I'm like, yeah, check. I think you guys delivered. Thank you so much, man. Congratulations on all your success. Cannot wait to see all of those future projects that we talked about, and have yourself a great rest of your day, Michael. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, man.